So here you can see that I mean it is not so visible. So let's have the top view so that the fall off and the hotspot will be visible. So let me put it here. So I make the top view. Yeah, this is the light, this is a spotlight. So you can go for the rendering, or if you forget the command, you can directly go from the render settings over here, and here you have the option, the rendering option, and the current presets and the render level that you want to give. And I'm at a draft into the render accuracy, so then I go with render and just close this, because and then because I'm using a region rendering, so I'm just I will be putting it a crop over here, and now you can see. So there is another thing called the render window. So here we have the render window on, so you can see, so it is the previous one that it is there. So let me close this. So now let me zoom out and okay, let me have the intensity, let me increase the fall off. So I can increase the fall off angle by clicking this grip also, and the hotspot angle also by clicking this grip. So select it, and if you place your, so these two things, the hotspot angle cannot be greater than the fall off angle. So now if you do the render, now see what happens. So I'm just putting this. So the area for the light had increased. So I'm just increasing the intensity. Let's say here I go with the properties and increase the intensity, let's say 5 times to see brighter light. So you can see the rendering option now. So lighting is something that you have to fix, and then the texturing I would, now things are better. So now you can see that the light, this is the hotspot is the maximum light, where the maximum light falls into, and the fall off is where the light is generally extending up to, the illumination is generally extending up to. So this is how you can test it. Now coming back to the scene, so this is the spotlight that we can have. Then other thing is the web light and the other lights we can also try. So here I have put all point lights off. So here I am going to the parameter and putting the spotlight also off. So let me go to the top view again, and let's try with more lights now. 1 2 and then so here I go and 3D orbit, and I change the to parallel. So I have 3 point lights, 1 spotlight. I can always move the point light to a particular, but that you need to check that the target, the target has to be well placed. Okay, so here we go. So now we have the visualize, and then you can create a light. You can have a distant light. So distant light is just like a spotlight. You need to have a source. Let's say if I'm having a cylinder outside, and it is not like a spot, it is coming, the conical formation is not there. Spot, basically the light is just like a torch. From the torch, it happens that there is a cone that is forming over there, the spotlight in the disco light you can see. But in case of distant light, it is a cylindrical light. Now you can see how it is different. So I have a cylinder over here which will be giving me the location of the distant light. So I'm going with the parallel settings. So here I have this distant light, and then disable distant light when the lighting unit is photometric recommended. Okay, allow distant light. So I'm going to allow the distant light, and here I have the light direction. This is starting from here, and this is here, it is coming. So now you can change the light name, and you can name it as sunlight. So this is a light which is coming from very far. So press enter. So now the distant light is you have given the direction and the location of it. So once you render it, you will find that there is a distant light which is acting from the very far, and it is creating the shadow because I put all the lights off. So coming back to it, okay, so now you have the now let me have the plan here, SHA 2D wireframe. So just another thing is the web light. Let's say now here we have the point light. So let me have the web light in place. So it'll be doing the application of it from point to point. So here we have this rectangle at the top, and I create a web light. So the source location is here, and it is just like the chandelier, and the target location of the web light is, so it is falling down. So web light basically fills the light. It is a fill light that we talk about. So I name it as, let's say here, name I name it as fill light. So I should have a fill light in my scene. So press enter. Now there's a web light is here. So let me do a quick rendering of the web light and see how it looks like. So going with the RR command and close it, and I'm putting a window over here. So you can see that how uniformly the entire now web light is giving a fill to the room. So I would recommend that we should have a fill light as a web light, and then we can put other lights also. So if you go to the properties, so you have the intensity and other things. You can see you can put it on. So I have named it as fill light. So this is where the lighting part ends. Now the last that I want to talk about is the material and the texture. So I'm just putting it because I want to give an image over here. I want to give the texture over here, and then I'm going to finish the session and go for the project. In the session 13 we will be studying in detail about how the modeling and the rendering can be done from the scratch. That is the project. Now after putting the lights, I would be telling you how to assign the materials. Now here I want to assign a tile material over here, and a wall I want to assign a plain color, and here I want to assign two paintings. Now see how it works. So here we have the material browser, or you can type the rmat command, which is an old command. So here we have the material browser. So in the material browser there are different options over here. Now let's say, talking about the material browser, so the material that you will be creating for assigning it to the object has to be present over here, and here this is the document material. So how do I go it? So here I have this Autodesk library, and from here I would select what is the class I am going to select. For example, if I want a wall painting, so I will go with a wall painting. So the category over here, you can see that and then you can further go that if you need a wall paint which is matte, so the category can be here. So whatever wall paint that I want to have, let's say I want to have a beige color, just you can put it up, and here you can add material to the document and display in editor. So if you click into it, it will be and the editor will be visible. Now you can see the editor is where the material information are there. So if you double click it, the editor will be there. So the name of the material is beige. You have the RGB, that is the red, green and blue color over here. So for a material to be created, you need the color and you need this finish. So here, because it is a wall paint, it is showing the category as a wall paint. So it is only showing these two parameters. Now let's say if I want to assign this wall paint to this particular wall. So I select this and right click into this, and there is an option called assign to selection. So when I click on assign to selection, now here I have this option called realistic. So I can always see in the realistic view how the texture will be there. So here you can see in the realistic view. And so if you want to try with more of the wall paint, or you want to create your own wall paint, so what you need to do is, so you select that particular paint and duplicate it and name this paint. Let's say if I need a custom color, let's say I name it, and here I double click into it, and then here I give a, let's say, color which is a dark red, and then I can have it as gloss or semi-gloss. So I can give the application. So now I have another, if I select this, I can assign it to the, so now you can see the change over here. So this is how I create a material, let's say for the wall. Now if I want to go for the floor, so I need to go to the Autodesk library and say I need a flooring. So here you have some flooring from the Autodesk library, default flooring. Then we will be going, okay, so let's say I need a carpet. So put it over here, go up. Now for the flooring, I have selected this carpet. So you can double click on it to see the preview of it. So you have this edit option if you want to. I think there is a the appearance. This dialog box was hidden behind this, so I just moved it. So now you can see the carpet pattern is the pattern that you can see, and there are different things. So okay, so here I go with and I close this again. I open the material browser and I want to assign this. So I just reduce this size. So I select this floor and add sign to selection. Now you can see that the pattern is assigned to the flow. Now I want to add a picture over here of a Buddha. So for that, the relevant class would be, I would like to go, you don't have like fabric or something. So I would like to have a default. So, or I can go with a generic. So what I can do is I can create a new material over here. So a new generic material. So here I have this default generic and name it as a Buddha image. So here I can give the image. It is saved in the folder of. So this is the image. So just putting it over here. So this is the Buddha image that you can see. This is the image that I wanted to have, and this is the sample size. So it's a 12-inch scale I have done. So I want to give it a size of, let's say, 3 feet by 3 feet. So that's the scale that I want to have. And then I want to assign this. After creating this, you can see what I have done is I have increased, I have double clicking on it. I have set a scale over here and select this object and put and assign to selection. Now you can see here. So if I want to make it a full Buddha image over here, so there are two things. First of all, I have to set the map of the. So here comes the next option for texturing is the setting the map. So you have this material mapping over here. So select this box in which the image is there. So now you have the option what you want to do, what mapping you want to do. You want to either go for a box or a planner. So the moment I say enter, so I have a box option. So here with this box option, I can basically do a mapping. And now you can see how I have changed, right? So in the box, I have the length, width, and the height that I can change. So here I can increase the size of the box so that the Buddha fits, and I can increase to a point. So here with the box shape, I have changed the size of the map. So now if you do a render, so let me have the spotlight on and go to the view. Now you can see a beautiful Buddha image would be seen in the, so I go with the view 4 here. So I go for a render RR and so I have this, press enter, close this default. So this is the window that I want to do. So I have now a paint and there is a issue with the lighting. So what I will do is I will change the light over here. Let's say, let me regenerate it, just move it. So I want to put this light on, which is right now it is off, which is near the Buddha image. So to select that light, what I need to do is I can go to 3D orbit, change the view, and let me see if the light is selected or not. Or I can rotate this, because I have to select the light. So here I have, so with the 3D orbit also you can see, and if you can select the light or not. Yes, the light is now selected, and in its property you put it on to see, and give the intensity twice, so that it is more brighter. And select the spotlight, that what you can do something with the spotlight. So select the spotlight and make it on, so that, so now you go with the view 4 again, go for the rendering option, close it, create the box. So this is how you create the texture for. Now similarly you can see that in the floor you need to have a mapping, because the carpet over here is not seen clearly. So here again, so I would suggest that I'll go to the material browser again, where the materials are present. So I put this off. So I go to the material browser. So I have this carpet over here, the floral pattern. Make sure that it is basically assigned. So I go to the 3D orbit and change the view to see the. Uh, so what I will be going is I'll go for a top view, so that I can see the texture of the carpet. So now here, this is the carpet over here. This is a floral pattern. So you can assign it. I can drag it. So now I will go with realistic to see the images. So now you can see the carpet is, the floral patterns are not organized. So what I can do is I can go with the UV command, that is the set UV that we were talking about. So the UV mapping is generally used for mapping the texture. So now if I use, let's say, a map which is in the material mapping, if I use a box, that means I'm telling AutoCAD that this is a box, select the faces of the object. So if I select the face, now here I have to select, so I have to tell that this is the cylinder box, and this is the where I want to put it. So this is how the UV mapping can be done, and because of the view it is, now I can increase or decrease the, I'm increasing, so that and I can rotate the Gizmo also. So this is how basically the mapping is done. Now you can see it is diagonally done. Now if I go with the scene, so the rendering will be done like this. So I think I'll just put another map. Now you can see that here the textures are changed. So let the rendering go. So here rendering takes time because it is an algorithm that has to be put across. So now here another thing that we can do is to assign the image to this particular frame. So here I have this, I would be creating another generic material. So for that I would go with create new material and new generic material, and I name it as painting 1, abstract painting. It is an abstract. So I name it as abstract painting, and here double click into it to open the editor, or I can click on it to open the editor. Now you can see the editor is open here, and here in the image you can give the abstract image. So you can see, if you want to see the preview of it, you can see the thumbnail of it. So this is the image that I want to put into the browser, and here I have the material browser. So this is the image that I want to put, the custom wall paint and the abstract painting. Now here if I want to assign this, I can drag it, so it is going into the wall. So the best way is to do is to select it, select the material and assign to selection. So now you can see that the painting is again two things that you can do is, first is you can basically go for the tiling. Let's say if you want to change the scale, like you unlock the scale and you say the sample size, the width is let's say 3 feet and the height is let's say 5 feet. So unlocking is basically you're unlocking the scale. So I have this 36, that is the factor of the image. So now you can see that here the images is stretched off. So what I can do is I can go with set UV, that is a UVW mapping, and I select it as a box option. So similarly I select this faces of this and press enter. Now you can see that with this the grips are developed, so I can change the scale and see. So this is how I create an image over here. So this is the UV mapping and the rendering, and you can try with different options once you do the rendering process. So what you can do is, so you have this rendering, RR is the command. So pick up the window that you want to do, and if you want to save the rendering, so you can go with the render to size. So here we have this all the options. So now the rendering is been taking place. Now you can see that rendering progress bar is there, it's complete, and here you have this rendering window where so so once you have this rendering done, you can save this rendering by save image option, or you can always, so here you have this, because in the rendering bar there is an option to save it. So if I go with the render option, so there is a render gallery, so there's nothing in the gallery because it would be 360. So now to save this rendering as a JPG or an image file, what I would recommend is you have this scene created with a camera view and other thing. So here you have this option of the setting in the render. So this render preset manager will be displayed. So here you go with the window option and select the rendering size. Let's say I select this size, and then once you render it, so the rendering will be seen in the rendering window over here, and from here you can save this image as a, so you can zoom it. Now you can see the rendering over here. Once you finish this rendering, you can save this from the rendering window from here, and here you can basically have the image saved in PNG, JPG, TIFF and other formats. So you can save it in JPG also. So the image now is, and you can have the best quality. So this is how you do the rendering. And so in the render gallery also, it will go to the Autodesk 360. So the render window here, now you can see the render window. So with this, we finish the rendering part of AutoCAD. And in the next session, I'll be taking a quick go through for the project. Thank you. Hope you have learned